Hello, this is Fraser Anderson from Vestigo Ventures. Today, I'm joined by a particularly special guest. Navi Radjou is an innovation advisor who's written extensively on what he calls frugal innovation. He recently published in MIT's Sloan Management Review an article titled The Rising Frugal Economy. Navi has been extremely generous with us, and we're delighted to share his perspective with all of you. Navi, thanks so much for being here.
Delighted to be here.
Now, sustainability seems to be a bit of a buzzword, but certainly an idea that I suspect most people are familiar with, but I think probably not in a particularly concrete way. And you've talked about and written about why this is problematic. And could you elaborate on that for us?
Yeah, sure. Sustainability means maintaining a system at the same level of performance. But we know that our existing socioeconomic system is broken. So why do we want to sustain it? Instead, we must reinvent and improve our system. We must essentially shift from sustainability to regeneration, which is a new strategy that enables companies to revitalize people, communities, and the planet while making a profit at the same time. According to a recent study, 80% of consumers want companies to focus on regeneration rather than sustainability, a term they find too passive.
That makes a lot of sense, and I think we're obviously leading towards the environment. And I think when it comes to a discussion around the environment, it's very rare that anybody has good news. I'm not sure any of us can take any more bad news in 2020. So could you maybe give us some reasons to be optimistic?
Yeah, I'm actually, definitely an optimist, Frazier. Because you see, 70% of the US GDP is personal consumption. So what we see is consumers becoming aware of the fact that their buying decisions directly impact society and the planet. So they are voting with the wallet for local businesses. So we are seeing the buy local movement growing. And what I see personally is a massive shift from global supply chains to what I call a frugal economy that brings production of goods and services closer to where consumers live. A frugal economy bridges the gap, the wide gap between supply and demand in terms of time, distance, relevance, and values. And I believe that a frugal economy can actually revitalize US cities and regions while at the same time reversing climate change.
That's extremely positive to hear. And that does seem like a policy initiative that everybody should be able to get behind. Could you talk maybe about one or two companies that you really see leading the charge here, though, ones that others should be emulating?
Yes, there are several of them that I wrote about in my MIT Sloan Management Review article, but there's one particular I can expound today. It's Danone, which is a global food company. They are investing in what is known as regenerative agriculture, which is a set of science-based practices that help US farmers enrich the soil, preserve biodiversity, improve animal welfare, while at the same time drastically reducing the use of fertilizers, pesticides, and water. So in sum, these practices help US farmers increase their productivity, hence the revenue, while reducing the cost of production. It's also beneficial to the environment because these techniques help with what we call carbon sequestration, which is stocking carbon in the soil. And finally, they're also good for us end users and consumers because a healthier soil produces more nutritious food. So this is what I call a triple regeneration because it helps regenerate simultaneously people, communities like farmer communities, and the planet.
That's fantastic. So you've convinced me a brighter future is possible. There are others out there already making it happen. And let's flip the script. So what would be the call to action for all the viewers that you would think about?
I believe that your viewers who are predominantly investors must pressure companies to innovate frugally and purposefully during this recession. It turns out that the big companies invest annually $800 billion in R&D, research and development, yet 85% of new products fail at launch. And the reason is because they're disconnected from customer needs and values. So instead of wasting money, investors must actually pressure companies to think differently, which is by engaging customers intimately and co-create with them new products and services that have 5 core new attributes. These solutions have to be accessible, they have to be affordable, they have to be simple to use, and they need to have a positive impact on society and the planet.
That's fantastic. That sort of sounds like our early stage fintech criteria. So maybe there's a career 2.0 as a venture capitalist for you.
Possibly.
Um, and before you go, I'm sure our viewers have enjoyed this, but this was just very bite-sized, and you've written and spoken extensively. Where can we find out more about you and your work?
Sure. You can watch my TED Talk on frugal innovation. You can read my new MIT Sloan Management Review article on the frugal economy, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn.
Fantastic. And I'll be sure to make sure that we post those links. So thanks so much for lending us your sagacity and your insights. This has been absolutely fascinating. And I sincerely hope this won't be the last time.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers. Thank you.